Let's quickly turn to Manhattan for an update on the sex trafficking and racketeering trial for Sean Diddy Combs. This week, the jury has been hearing testimony from a woman using the pseudonym Jane, who is a single mother and a content creator, and she dated the music mogul from 2021 until 2024. Today, she is on her 6th day of testimony and her 3rd day of cross-examination. Joining me now live from New York with the latest from today's testimony is Court TV's senior producer, Emanuela Grinberg. Emanuela, thank you so much for being on. Please catch us up on all of the latest.
Hi, Judge Ashley. Well, breaking news, her 3 days of cross are finally over, and Jane has begun her redirect examination. And already it's kind of off to a fiery start. The prosecutor Comey brought her attention to this text that she was talking about on direct, about the one time that Combs allegedly agreed to her demand, or not demand, but, acquiesced to her wishes to not have a hotel night. So what happened is the prosecutor Comey said, so you saw that text where he said, all good, all good. We don't have to have a hotel night with you having sex with another man. And then she says, but did you know that he sent this text 90 minutes later to Paul, one of the entertainers with whom they would frequently have these, what Jane says are unwanted sex nights. And in this text to Paul, Sean Combs says, I'm going to need you to call her and persuade her. And if you can, then we're on. And Jane said she had never seen that text before. So again, this back and forth of consent and the extent to which Combs was really listening to her alleged, efforts or wishes, to not have these sex nights, just have quality time with him. So there's about 30 minutes left of redirect, is what Prosecutor Comey anticipated. And right before that, there was a lot of, the theme of the cross really ended, cross ended with the theme that it had started from the beginning, which was this idea that Jane was really into these sex nights. And really, it ended with this, her talking about in text how she was finally getting the princess treatment she always wanted from Combs in the last year of their relationship. And that really was just like a year ago from right now is when they were still dating, still seeing each other. A year ago this month, they were beating each other up, actually. He was beating her in his home. And but their relationship continued right up until his arrest.
All right, Emanuela, thank you, of course, for bringing us all the latest, your great ears, eyes, and reporting. Now, let's take a closer look at some highlights from Jane's cross-examination. This is a federal trial, so of course, no cameras are allowed in the courtroom. But with the help of AI, we are able to simulate some of Jane's testimony taken directly from the court records. Take a listen to some of her testimony from yesterday.
Okay, skipping ahead to October, we talked a little bit on direct examination about this sobriety party. Do you recall?
I do.
Okay. And you testified that around that time you saw a photo of an ex-girlfriend of his at a hotel in Los Angeles. Do you remember that?
I do.
And so you saw and indicated that he was with her, right?
Yes.
Is this a message between you and Mr. Combs on October 15th, 2023?
Yes, it is.
Are you and Mr. Combs planning a time to meet?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And then he asks you, what time are we meeting? And you say, ew, no thank you, right?
Right.
And he says, you serious? I need you. And you say, why would you bring the trash back in and not answer my FaceTimes on top of that? You need me. You're with what you want, right?
I believe I said, you don't need me. You're with what you want.
And then you write, here you go, bringing the back in. It's a toxic cycle for you, and it bleeds into our relationship, right?
Yes.
And he says after a few messages, girl, stop. You know I don't feed into this. I need you. You're the only thing that's going to put me at peace. Please, right?
Yes.
And you felt that the hotel nights really put him at peace, right?
Yes.
And that's part of why you did them, right?
Yes.
Do you remember the next day Combs asked to see you after these messages?
Yes.
All right. And you had told him that you needed a mental break from this.
Yes.
Okay. And then he said, well, do you want to break up?
Yes.
and that it was around this time that you were encouraging him that you wanted him to go to rehab and get sober.
Yes.
And what were you doing to encourage that?
Just trying to be an example of somebody who herself was trying to just be healthy. And I would just want him to eat like good foods, vitamins, get off his drugs, get off everything. I would just send him recipes, try to tell him to meditate, have yoga. Anything just to push him towards health and wellness.
And so you told him you were going to do 30 days without doing anything, right? Or does he say that to you? Did he say he would do 30 days without doing anything?
He said it, yes.
And he said, but could we just have one more sobriety party?
Yes.
And after he said that, you agreed?
Yes.
And that's the hotel night where you didn't take any drugs, right?
Right.
And then there was 3 different guys, right?
Yes.
And earlier that night, I think we looked at some photos. You went to see him in concert that night?
Yes.
And then there were several entertainers at the hotel?
Unfortunately, yes.
And the sobriety party, you said, lasted 12 to 18 hours, right?
Yes.
And you had agreed to it, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
You keep saying unfortunately, but you had agreed to it, right?
Yes.
You regret now that you agreed to it. Is that fair?
I resent him for knowing how much I loved him and knowing I couldn't say no to him.
My question is, you regret that now, right?
I resent him for it, yes.
You resent him for the fact that you did the sobriety party?
I resent him for all of it.
Okay. And you regret it, right?
I believe resent and regret lie in the same feelings.
You testified that he had started dating another woman, right? And it was really heartbreaking for you?
Yes.
And that woman is Carisha, right?
Yes.
Her entertainment name is Young Miami, right?
Yes.
And she has a birthday approximately the same time as you, around the time as you do, right?
Yes.
And so after your birthday, you saw that Mr. Combs had taken Carisha on a yacht vacation, right?
Yes.
And it was a big, beautiful celebration for her, right?
Yes.
And so you had told him how upset and hurt you were, right?
Yes.
You say to him, I see the entire island vacation home, the dressed up PJ, all the effort you've put into this. That's why you were blowing me off on my birthday, acting like you had planned so much for us. Because you knew I would see all of this and what a drastic thing this is, right?
Yes.
Do you remember making him come home a day early from this vacation?
I do.
And what did you say?
I said, if you don't come here now, we're not going to do anything that you want to do.
You told him that you weren't going to have... Do you remember telling him you weren't going to have a Valentine's Day party with him?
Yes. That was the first time that I was so upset that I pulled that card. Yes.
The hotel night card?
Yes.
And do you remember telling him if you don't get your ass out of that island, we're not going to have a party?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Comey asked you whether there were any times that you had planned, like, as a surprise, hotel nights for Mr. Combs. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you had mentioned that, from what you could remember, 2 or 3 times, right?
Yes.
And one of those times, you said, was maybe a Valentine's Day. Was this the Valentine's Day that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Who planned this decoration?
I did.
Okay. And then what is the photo on the right?
The photo on the right is a photo of probably a living space. I had decorated the room with red heart balloons, rose petals, candles. I really liked romancing Sean in this way.
All right. And you put love in rose petals on the entertainment set?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember that you were telling KK when you were planning this that you wanted to organize a few things to make this really cute and romantic for him?
Yes.
Did she help you plan that, or were you just giving her a heads up that you were coming?
I think just a heads up.
Did you suggest at this Valentine's Day hotel night that you could have 2 men in the same room at the same time?
Yes.
Was that your suggestion or his suggestion?
It was my suggestion.
And did that happen?
It did.
Is this a text message chain between you and Mr. Combs on July 19th of 2022?
Yes, it is.
What do you say to him?
I say to him, what you been thinking about?
And he says, I ain't been. Just started to feel better. 10 is too long. And then he says, everyone is booked. Call Italian. Paul is free, right?
Yes.
And you said, I did, waiting to see if he's free now. And you liked Paul is free, right?
Yes. Given that I had to choose between this, I put a like on Paul.
And what in this message says that you had to choose Italian or Paul?
In this text, he's giving me an option to choose between Paul or Italian.
And then you ask him, let me know where we're meeting when you know, right?
Yes.
And then you tell him you are heading to the store, then the London hotel, right?
Yes.
And he responds, I told Paul 11. Is that cool?
Yes.
He's asking you whether it's cool that Paul would come at 11, right?
These are my options, yes.
And he says, I don't want to wait until 10. I want to watch some porn, right?
Yes.
And that would just be with you and him, right?
Yes.
And you tell him you're heading to the store. What store?
Sex store.
Okay, to get outfits?
Yes.
What else would you get?
I'd get strippers' shoes. I would get lube. I would get male erection pills or liquids. I would get shorts. I would get maybe whips.
Okay, so what are the shorts for?
The shorts are for Sean and Paul.
Okay. And is that something you like them to wear?
Given my circumstances, I was really turned off whenever these men would come in with their regular shorts. And so I started incorporating shorts for them as well for these nights, just so I could find them attractive.
And Mr. Combs would wear matching shorts with the entertainers?
Yes.
Okay. And the male erection pills, is that for the entertainer or for Mr. Combs or for... Who would that be for?
It was really not so fun having to wind up these guys and wait for them to be erect. And so in order to cut my time with these entertainers, I started to get these on the side so that they can kind of start being erect already.
Okay, so you didn't want them to do any hard drugs, but you would give them these pills from the sex store, right?
I figured pills at the store weren't as unhealthy as actual street drugs.